Hello guys, David here, founder of Superthread, and welcome to my devlog. So at Superthread we are trying to create an ultra-fast issue tracker that doesn't actually suck. At Superthread we decided to go fully remote from the very beginning, and this is quite important to us. So we have a globally distributed team, and me as the CEO have decided to build a shed in my garden. And in this shed I have this new desk, which I'm gonna just take you through right now. So without further ado, let's get to it. So first of all, for the worktop, I chose natural bamboo wooden worktop from Worktops Express. I'm quite happy with this purchase. When I bought the actual worktop, it was 3 meters long and 1 meter wide. So I've cut it down to 2 meters. I've smoothed the edges. So in order to prevent any staining, I had to kind of surface it with Osmo top oil. And it's working out really well. It's a really good solid desk. It feels really nice. I love the color, it's very bright. That's what I wanted to achieve. The one thing to keep in mind with bamboo worktops is that they're quite soft, so they're kind of quite prone to denting, but if you're careful, there's no issues whatsoever. Now for my desk legs, I chose the FlexiSpot height adjustable desk, steel white, which is E6W. I chose this one because it's quite a sturdy one and it can lift up to 125 kilograms. Now even though I don't need it to lift 125 kilograms, basically I'm happy with it because once it goes up, it stays quite solid. So if you want to type, it doesn't kind of shake around with like all the other cheaper options. So I'll definitely recommend this FlexiSpot purchase. So for my computer, I have the MacBook Pro 2017. I'm quite happy with this computer. I'm waiting for Apple to release the new M1X. I'm quite looking forward to that, but so far this MacBook Pro has served me well. It does get quite hot, but it isn't such a bad thing during the winter because you can warm your hands on it. But otherwise it runs quite fast, it does everything I need it to do. It does slow down when you're doing screen share or when you're having a video conference, and it does tend to kind of switch on the fans, but apart from that, it's a decent computer. For my keyboard, I have the Apple Magic Keyboard full size with numerical pad. I find that to be still the best keyboard that I've ever used. I mean, my kids have these mechanical keyboards for gaming. They're good, but I think for typing and for kind of programming and just general kind of writing, I find the Apple keyboard to be the most optimal for me. Now for the mouse, I use quite an old mouse, which is G500S, which is a really nice mouse from Logitech. It's a gaming mouse, it has weights in it, it's wired, but each time I've tried a wireless mouse, and I have the Apple one too, it just wasn't quite right, it didn't feel good. And this mouse feels really good. I sometimes play StarCraft 2 on my kind of MacBook Pro, and I find this mouse to be the best for that too. For my monitor setup, I'm used to the dual monitor setup. I've got two Samsung 4K 28-inch monitors, and I'm quite happy with them. They are 60 FPS, which is what I need because remember at Superthread we're trying to get things to run at 60 FPS. So for my webcam, I have the Logitech C920 HD Pro webcam. So initially when I bought this webcam, I thought it was terrible. The picture quality was awful. It looked really terrible, but then I realized the reason is because the light wasn't good. So as long as you have decent light with this webcam, it's a decent webcam. The light that's optimal, of course, is the natural daylight, but also artificial lights can do. This webcam stands on Pipshell webcam stand, 14-inch, and on top of that I have the small rig 10-inch Magic Arm, which holds the actual light which I'm using. And for the light I use the Kretek 8-inch LED ring light, and that seems to do the job really well, so I can actually have video conferences at night when it's dark, and it works reasonably well. Now when it comes to my speakers, I purchased Edifier R1280DB, which are Bluetooth speakers. This was an excellent purchase. They are built really well, and the sound is good both for speaking and music, and I would definitely recommend these Edifier speakers. I also bought this Vogex charger, which is very useful. It has kind of 5 USB inputs and plugged into the mains, and I find it very useful because I'm always plugging in different things to charge. And last but not least, let's do an honorable mention of my plants and my rug. So for my plants, I kind of swap them around. I have quite a few in my office, but spider plant is always one of my favorites, and it grows like hell. As long as you give it kind of water, it's a really nice plant. And I've also started growing chilies. So I'm growing 4 different types of chilies, which is Anaheim, Jalapeno, Cayenne, Hebrano, and Naga Eulokia. So I've succeeded in kind of sprouting 4 out of 5. And the Naga Eulokia, which is the spiciest one, basically hasn't succeeded, but I'll try next year, I guess. And I'm quite pleased with the progress. They're growing really well. And of course, the last thing is my rug. So this is an Afghan rug, which I bought on Etsy. It's made out of wool, and when it arrived, it kind of smelled of sheep, of farm. And if you don't mind kind of going through a period of a few months until the smell goes away, it was actually a really nice purchase. I really love the patterns, and I really love the way it's so colorful. So that concludes my desk setup video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So what do you guys think about my desk setup? Do you like it? What's yours like? Do you want to share your video of yours? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe and like. We really appreciate every subscriber, and I'll see you guys in our next video.